Little Big League is probably a movie you never heard of, so for today, I think it's underrated. It came out in '94, but more specifically, 1 week after the biggest box office movie of '94, The Lion King. So you already can understand a tiny baseball movie in Little Big League stood no chance. Another reason why this movie didn't grab a lot of attention back then is from just explaining what the movie is about in one sentence. It could easily sound like a silly, dumb movie. A 12-year-old becomes the owner of the Minnesota Twins and makes himself the manager. So that right there already sounds ridiculous, but Little Big League is the complete opposite and is definitely one of the best sports movies out there. Billy Hayward's grandfather is the owner of the Twins, and he spends all his time with Billy talking about baseball and going to games. He passes away early in the movie and gives the Twins to Billy. Now, Billy isn't just some ordinary 12-year-old. I mean, he does what you would expect from a middle school kid, goes to school, hangs out with friends, and he knows a lot about baseball. The beginning of the movie, we see two players tie on base, and the umpire is confused, so he asks Billy and solves the scenario. Little Big League establishes perfectly on how even Billy becomes a manager. Billy fires the current manager O'Farrell since he has been losing a lot and explains to his friends nobody wants to work for a kid, so he decides to make himself the manager. His friends tell him he should do it. We already know Billy knows a lot about baseball and that he isn't the best at playing. We see him strike out easily in the beginning, and he talks about baseball all the time and knows so much about the game by knowing the players on the team and seeing how the day-to-day operations work from his grandpa. But not only does Little Big League do a great job showing how Billy becomes and manages the Twins, it also does a great job of just what kids do and talk about. We see them playing in his backyard, they go fishing together, going on rides at a theme park, playing Monopoly, and eating at McDonald's. Okay, obviously the Monopoly and McDonald's are product placements, but it's well done because we all have done those two activities in our childhood. Even the stuff they talk about is kind of how kids would talk today. Like, would Batman go through the drive-thru at McDonald's or get out and order in person? That's something kids would talk about even most likely more today, even how Batman is more popular. It's just little moments like these that make Little Big League so cool. But back to Billy managing the Twins. He shows Arthur, the general manager, and the pitching coach, Mac, that he's capable of managing. But why not just pick Mac as the interim manager? That would make more sense. Well, Arthur says it best here.
And to tell you the truth, sir, we could really use the publicity.
I think that sums it up perfectly, and for Billy to at least try being the manager, and he does towards the end of the school year, so this becomes his summer job.
You said Jimmy Brackman has a job. Why can't you get a job?
Jimmy Brackman is a paper boy.
Oh, so you just don't want me to get a good job.
But the team doesn't think so fondly of having a kid telling them what to do, and they have every right to feel that way. We know he isn't that great at playing baseball, so how in the world is Billy going to manage a bunch of professional baseball players? He can't even see an R-rated movie. The team doesn't even play well on purpose just to make Billy look bad, especially Mike McGreevy. He's the one that really doesn't like Billy being the manager and purposely does awful so he can be traded away. But Billy refuses to bench him and forces him to play well. Eventually, the rest of the team starts to respect Billy more, and they all start playing well. But we all know this isn't something a kid could handle that well, and we see Billy start to get stressed out. He's not seeing his friends as much. He's even watching Night Nurses from Jersey. That's just so funny. A kid in a hotel room by himself with easy access to adult-related entertainment would so watch this instantly. Another neat feature of Little Big League is we get some players from the MLB like Ken Griffey Jr. making appearances and Chris Berman from ESPN doing an interview with Billy. And all the actors playing baseball on the Twins are actual people who played baseball in some form, and it definitely shows when you see the montages of the Twins playing. The Twins almost make it to the playoffs, but Ken Griffey Jr. steals that home run and ends the season. You really want the Twins to win, especially seeing how Billy and them all connected and started playing well. They helped him on his math homework, they threw water balloons from the hotel window, they all just had fun, and that's the real message of the movie. It's not about winning, it's about doing your absolute best and doing everything you have to offer, and that's exactly what Billy did as the manager of the Twins. If I have to say at least one negative thing about Little Big League, and this is a nitpick, is early in the movie, we see a girl named Shelly get Billy's autograph when he becomes a manager of the Twins. Then, at his first game, his friends mention she is at the game to Billy, but after that, she is never uttered about again. It would have been kind of neat to see at the end Billy goes on a date with her when he decides to not be the manager anymore and go back to have a childhood. But again, major nitpick, and I only realized that after multiple watches of Little Big League because we just want to see Billy succeed. Little Big League is a movie that sadly got lost in the movie shuffle back in its release, but today has got more attention and has gained fans. It even got a Blu-ray release from Shout Factory with neat bonus features. If you like baseball and movies from the 90s, this is definitely the movie for you. And even though Billy's grandfather passes away early in the movie, he gives probably the best advice to anyone being a kid.
Now remember, guys, eat as many of these as you possibly can for the next 15 years. Because after that, you can't eat anything that tastes good for the rest of your life.